Catus, Maximus here. This time with a review of this one-piece forged steel 7-inch Dasco Pro American-made scratch awl. And actually when I saw this, I was like, now that is a heavy-duty scratch awl. It is certainly heavy. It's a solid piece of forged carbon steel. Not a high alloy steel, but if it's a high carbon like 1080 or 1095, then it can certainly get plenty hard enough. Something like this, you would assume being Dasco, would be properly heat treated, which means it's going to be very hard on the tip, and then they would have tempered or annealed the rest of it. The reason I like this and showing and making a video about it is because you can use this with a hammer. It's just a bit heavier duty for maybe when you want to puncture something, or other types of scratch awl work where, say, in an instance, and like I recommend these American-made general scribes, where a scribe would work great, except for they tend to be really small. And so when you just need a heavier duty scratch awl, it's kind of cool that Dasco makes this, and this kind of fits the bill. Traditional scratch awls, which is like using, you know, probably a lot in carpentry for marking and for making little divots to start screws, like we have an old American-made Craftsman here. I recently did a video about this General 818, which looks really nice. It's a really beautifully made scratch awl, but it just isn't particularly hard and certainly not particularly durable. Even this Craftsman, which is going to be a bit better quality, still just isn't going to be the same beefiness as just a big chungus piece of forged steel, which has a really thick stem on it, easily resharpenable. And speaking of the hardness, I was testing it. What we have here is a grade 8 bolt, and if I do some scratching, we'll do it over here. Ow. Want to make sure that I don't actually stab myself with this. You can see that it is indeed scratching that surface of this grade 8 bolt, so it's hard enough. And of course, sharpening this, you know, you could just use a, say use a file or a grinder and just touch up the edge. Otherwise, I think it's actually pretty cool that they make this. It's kind of nice to find somebody who is making, you know, there is some funkiness here. They didn't really clean up this flashing from the forging very well, and we got some weird, like a weird booger or indentation right there, like there was debris in the mold. Not exactly sure what was going on there. The other odd thing is that, like, they had some issue with the screen, with the silk screening, because we see the Made in USA, and if you look, we have like a little thing of made in, so like this was put in sideways and then had to be reoriented. So don't know what was going on with that, but that is a strange little defect. But, you know, I'm not super fond of this big, you know, kind of gouge that's in there. But overall, for this type of tool and how cheap it was like $6 or $8 or something. Just fine for a heavy-duty scratch awl. They are real proud of it being made in USA. As we can see, made in USA there. They even wanted to try to double stamp it. But then we have made in USA there. We have made in USA up here. And that's actually, you know, that's all fine. But some of the things that get a little bit odd is like right here. Heat treated high carbon steel for superior strength. And in case you missed that, right down here, heat treated high carbon steel for superior strength. It's like they could work a little bit better for the labeling of the packaging. It's a minor criticism, but I think it's just hilarious that they put Made in USA in 3 places and then, you know, repeat the same sentence literally like an inch apart on the back of it. At least they do have a lifetime warranty. If it ever fails to defects in materials and workmanship, they will replace it, which means if you are using this, they do specifically mention use the mark or pierce metal and other materials. So if you're hammering on it and like the tip breaks off or something, the shank breaks off, and in this case, there could be perceived a bit of extra weakness because of this little issue there, they'll replace it. And I'm sure if you send them a photo, they'll say, oh wow, okay, and give you a new one. So at least it's decent to see an American product with a decent warranty. And the fact that this is just a cool heavy-duty scratch awl. And in a pinch, if you just need a little hammer to hit something with, has a lot of mass on the other end, nice flat. Since it's made to be hit with a hammer, you can certainly use it as a hammer. And I thought that was like just a cool scratch awl. Never really thought of a heavy-duty forged one until I saw it, and then now that I did, I thought, compared to traditional awls or even scribes that I've used before, this is something that will really last on the job site. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.